You know what I find kind of ironic? How Nintendo keeps screwing up time and time again, despite the fact that you would have thought they would have learned from their mistakes, just like Microsoft and Sony did. I mean, let's be honest here. Microsoft had the Xbox One stuff, but even by the E3 2013 showing, you could tell they were already starting to shift gears by the fact that they showed games at their E3. While Sony had the PlayStation 3 reveal, and even though it took longer, look at the PS3 now. Nobody even thinks about when it first came out. But yet Nintendo, on the other hand, has constantly made screw up time after time again. And well, the latest one? The whole new 3DS stuff. In Japan, they don't even sell the 3DS anymore because now they have the new 3DS for the same price as the old one too. And it's not just a new slim version or a die shrink of another system, because keep in mind, it has features the old 3DS did not have. For example, one feature is the ability to use a little ThinkPad pointing stick as a second nub in-game. It also uses the Circle Pad Pro's ZR and ZL buttons. However, these are now integrated into the hardware, and it is 100% backwards compatible with the Circle Pad Pro. However, it does work in games that did not support the Circle Pad Pro, such as Smash 4, but that only work with the new one. And since Nintendo's coding philosophy has been pretty terrible lately, instead of, well, making better optimized system software, the new 3DS now performs a lot faster in the main menus because it has a faster processor. This can also be used by games, however, and it also has more memory too. So amazingly well-coded games such as Smash Bros. For the 3DS will not have to reset the system when you play them. So you may be wondering, why is this a bad thing? Simple. It's common sense that if you announce something and then take forever to release it, it's going to cut into the sales of your current product. I mean, let's take a look at what happened with the next-gen systems. The second next-gen systems were announced, the sales of the old ones dipped, and people were waiting to buy a new system until the next-gen systems came out. And look what happened. You had tons of PS4s selling out, the Xbox One selling tons on the first few days, and of course, let's be honest here. The exact same thing happens with Apple devices. People stop buying the old ones the second the new one comes out, especially those who have a bunch of money. And of course, if you wait too long to announce something and release it, it cuts into your sales. Just look at what happened with Microsoft and how they lost a whole bunch of the smartphone market. They had Windows Mobile, but instead of releasing its successor, they just released a stopgap operating system and waited. And then Windows Phone 7 came out, and that was kind of a stopgap to Windows Phone 8. Did I mention there was no upgrade path to Windows Phone 7, except for like 2 phones which got unofficial upgrade hacks? And then I don't know of any Windows Phone 7 phones that got upgrades to Windows Phone 8 either. I mean, at least 8.1 got upgrades though, but still, that's a big thing. Especially when they sell upgrade licenses to Windows 7, Windows 8. In fact, nearly every version of Windows ever has had upgrade licenses for the consumer market and business. And of course, let's not forget what happened with Sega when they did the whole thing with the Saturn and Dreamcast, where they discontinued the Sega Saturn really early and then announced the Sega Dreamcast. Everybody just waited till the Dreamcast came out, and that basically lost Sega a ton of money because there was this whole period of time in which they were just waiting for it to come out. So you might be wondering why I've been talking about this stuff, because it's now time for me to talk about the new 3DS. Iwata has just announced that even though the new 3DS is selling a crap load in Japan, Nintendo isn't releasing them in the West this year right during the crucial Christmas season when you've got tons of parents willing to buy their kid a brand new toy, a brand new 3DS, a brand new Tickle Me Elmo, whatever. And why, you might ask? Because apparently something about how popular the 3DS is and how, I don't know, they did it because the sales were slow in Japan or something. I have no idea what their logic is. But keep in mind, that's just screwing everybody over. Anybody who is buying a DS at this point, I mean a 3DS, but whatever. Anybody who's buying a 3DS at this point is getting screwed over by Nintendo. Why? Because there's a better one available in Japan right now. Now you might be wondering, why can't you go on PlayAsia and just import it for several $100s? Unlike the DS and DS Lite and Game Boy, where if there was a Japan-only version you wanted, you could import it and play all your American games on it, the system is region-locked with all games. So if you buy, like, let's just say, a Japanese 3DS, enjoy not being able to play all your 3DS games. Instead, you'll be trapped with a very small library of games that you'll have to import, instead of all your American games that you can just buy at your local GameStop, your Walmart, your Target, your Best Buy, whatever. You can't play those on your new 3DS. Only digital games, which are probably still system locked, and of course imported Japanese games. Oh, DS games are region free, but then again, if you're buying one to play DS games only, what's the point? After all, it is region locked, and keep in mind, if you really want to play DS games, you can just get a DS or DS Lite for nothing. So yeah, all in all, Nintendo is still making clueless decisions by not releasing the system when it could sell well in Christmas and when people still have it in their minds fresh. Not when, let's be honest here, when it's been several years. You know, that's a bad idea right there. Anybody who lives in Europe knows exactly what I'm talking about. Remember when they got games years late? Yeah, that's what I thought. And all in all, Nintendo needs new management, because they're just going to keep blowing opportunities. I mean, you've got the new 3DS all on the tech sites, and since not everybody buying a 3DS is a clueless parent, sure, a lot are, but a lot aren't. They might as well listen to their fans, the people who want the system and will happily throw money at it. They need to listen to those people, the people who will actually support them, and not the ones who will just say yes to anything. That's all I have to say. Thanks for watching, subscribe for more.